After I wrote The Way of Men, Greg Hamilton reached out to me and invited me up to InSights for some handgun courses. And at that time, I was very much a beginner. And so I believe that Greg's courses up there gave me a really good foundation.
My name's Greg Hamilton. I'm going to be your primary instructor for the General Defensive Handgun class. It's for anyone that wants to carry a gun concealed, or in my opinion, anyone that's even going to keep a handgun in their house for self-defense should have this minimum level of instruction. Everyone that owns a gun that's going to use it for self-defense, this is the appropriate level of instruction that they should get.
What I like about Greg is that he's not distracted by, here, let's buy the most expensive new gear, or, here's the latest fad in the industry. Greg is very much focused on what is tried and true and what always works and what has worked in his experience.
Feet shoulder width apart, strong side foot back just a little bit, right? Knees forward, pelvis forward, solar plexus forward, shoulders forward, chin forward, arms forward. Everything's going that way. I'm going to have to start walking soon if I don't start shooting.
And obviously his resume speaks for itself. He has a ton of practical knowledge as well as technical knowledge about firearms.
You've tried to shoot the gun and it didn't work. Finger off the trigger, tap, rack, bang, but it still doesn't work. Lock, rip, work. When you go for your tap, rack, bang again, index the finger on the bullet tip to make sure it's pushed all the way in the magazine. Tap, rack, bang.
So I ended up going back up to InSights for several more classes. I took some rifle classes. I took a vehicle tactics course, which was really fun. And I think I even took a self-defense class, a hand-to-hand self-defense class. So I really learned a lot from Greg and InSights. And one of the big takeaways for me as someone who was new to firearms was that Greg made it really clear that you have to understand the legal environment that you're operating in.
In real time, what we want is decision-making models that help us act within the law and, even more importantly, act within our own morality.
You see things online and you see guys talking like they're going to be cowboys, or they're going to act like cowboys, or they're going to do this and that, and they brag about things and really make threats online. And you have to understand the community you live in, the legal framework you have to operate in order to responsibly operate a firearm. You have to understand when you're allowed to use lethal force. And he was really went into that deeply and made it really important. I think he impressed that on all of his students.
They are ability, opportunity, jeopardy, preclusion. The fourth one, the last one, may not be a legal requirement where you live. We're going to suggest you do it anyway.
Yeah, that's something that I took away from the class, and something that I share with people when they start talking about firearms. And like, are you allowed to do that? Are you going to jail? I think that's really important to know.
That situation required deadly force. It was not an option anymore. It was required. It demanded deadly force. If I could have left, I would have left. If I could have talked my way out of it, I would have talked my way out of it. If I could use some lower level of force, pepper spray, hitting somebody, I would have done that. But those things were unlikely to work and would have endangered me significantly more to try. So therefore, I had no choice but to use deadly force to defend my life. And that's what we want. We want deadly force to not be your choice. It was forced upon you by the opponent.
All in all, I really enjoyed my experience with Greg and InSights. I felt like I learned a lot, and I would recommend it to anyone.